Hello, it's me, mattspeed. Welcome back to the channel. I've got a really exciting video for you today. It is a conversation with an amazing three-piece band from Manchester called the Hara. Now, this was part of my show on Total Rock Radio called The Speedometer, which you should definitely check out if you haven't already. Mondays at 4 p.m, repeated Thursdays at 4 a.m, only on Total Rock. The link's in the bio, so check that out. But we were talking for so long that we couldn't fit the whole thing on the show, and so that is why this video exists. Always a pleasure to talk to those boys. And they have lots going on this year. We talked about being an independent band now and the changes to their lives as musicians as a result of that. They're also in the studio, so we were looking forward to maybe a second album. And we also talked a bit about the craft of a live show. Their live show is emphatic. Might have some footage which I'll throw in here from the Survival Mode tour, which I got to catch in Leeds and in Sheffield. So we talked a little bit about how to craft a live show and what their approach to building an experience for fans is, which was fascinating, and lots more was covered in the conversation over the course of the 30 minutes. So I hope you enjoy this. Sit back, relax, and enjoy Josh, Jack, and Zach of the Hara. We have all three of the Hara on the show. Thanks for joining me. You're joining me live from the studios of the Hara headquarters, would we say?
Well, this is like our home away from home. We're in Hereford right now, so we're in Chapel Lane Studios. It's a lovely place. It's got a pub across the road called Bunch of Carrots, which is arguably even better place, probably the best place in the world.
So good. You can get postcards of it at the pub. Like you can, it's that idyllic.
It's postcards of the pub.
Of the pub, mate. It's that good.
Wow.
It's that good.
Yeah.
That sounds luxurious, to be fair. So is it a case of straight away after you finished your takes, just go and sink a couple pints?
We might have already had one today, me and Zach.
Okay. No, fair.
And I've only done a bit this morning. I've not even worked yet.
Well, you know, work can involve play and vice versa. So this is it. This is it. Well, it sounds like you're in a good place to be chatting a bit of nonsense with me then. I guess let's start off and chat about 2023, because it was huge for the Hara with the release of Survival Mode, 2 headline tours, appearances across various festivals, including in Europe, the US, and of course the UK. Yeah, how do you reflect on the last year of the band?
I totally forgot we released our album last year. When you said it then, I was like, oh, yeah, shit. So that's good. So maybe that's a good thing. So much happened, you know, and yeah, it was a crazy year. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to like quantify it. We just had like a little 3-week break, and we have come back to it this year straight away, and we're in the studio. This is the first thing we've done in 2024. So yeah, like over that break, I think we all reflected on the year, and it is. I mean, how you summarised it there, it's definitely easy to let those like America. That's insane. I think that's at the start. I think it might be the first gig we did of 2023. Was it? And it's like, wow, that is insane. It's mental when you say it like that.
Yeah. Would you say it's the best year of the band so far?
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, you've obviously been on the festival circuits for the last maybe 3, 4, 5 years. I'm trying to remember when we first met, which was at Tramlines in 2021. Um, so I guess, does it change every year on the festival circuits, or does it all blur into one kind of thing? Do you find it difficult to remember kind of what happened year on year, or?
Yeah, I think it's difficult to like you say, and like Zach just said there, when you summarize last year, we've done like amazing things, and it was all like in different points, and it was all like real seasonal and sectional. Whereas like you say, when we did all like tram lines and truck and all that sort of stuff in that year, that was like a massive load at like 6 months where we was constantly doing things, and that feels completely different to a year like last year where we've got like we've released the album here, we went to America, then we had like a bit of time, and then we toured, and then we had it was a different year for us, really. So when you sum it up, it's great though.
Well, it was a colossal year. Like, was it the first time you kind of went internationally for a longer period of time? I know you spent obviously South by Southwest and various things in the States, but then also a prominent feature of your social media has been highlights from like the Czech Republic and countries like that. Is it different playing in other countries? Like, do you have to think about how your show might translate, or kind of what's that experience like, sort of going to international audiences?
I think that the beauty of what we try and do is that no matter where we go, is we always give the same show and the same crazy energy. You know, we never want to compromise that. And I think that's what people have sort of latched onto. You know, whenever we go to a new place, we just fucking have it live. And Czech Republic especially have seemed to really latch onto our band, and we're actually playing a sold-out show there this month.
Wow.
Our biggest European show, so that, you know, it's mental. And last year we did our first headline European tour in Germany and the Netherlands and Czech Republic. So yeah, it's cool, man. But we the same show, same shit wherever we go. You know, we just give it.
I guess we should talk about the survival mode tour, because that was, I mean, by far the most kind of conceptual stage show I've seen, like, from you guys. We had some screens, we had a storyline, and that kind of storyline from the album went through into the live show. So what was that like, putting that together? I think it was really effective. Like, I saw the first tour, the first survival mode tour, and then the bonus levels tour later in the year. So what was that like, building that kind of show and that kind of theatricality that you've always had as a band? Like, you've always commanded the presence, but building that kind of storyline, that universe around it.
It was stressful.
And as usual, last minute.
we wanted to try and find the cheapest and most DIY way that we could put on like an arena type show.
Yeah.
You know, and the TVs on stands with loads of cables hanging off them seem to do the job. You know, and obviously we're super lucky to have the team we have. We had Cosmic Joke, who put all the assets. They were literally sending me the assets like days before we went on tour, and I was uploading it to the session. And, you know, some of it we hadn't even seen until we played the show, but it worked in the end. A couple of dodgy cables, and, you know, we probably could have sparked a massive fire with what we had going on, but we're good. And it worked really well. And when we did our big Manchester show, we got the massive projector behind us as well, which was awesome.
Amazing.
But, you know, it's definitely something we always want to strive to do as we move on as the band, try and bring that show even bigger. And I think the next steps is obviously the visuals and the lights and stuff like that. So, you know, we're slowly working our way to pyrotechnics and fireworks. You know, what's the band, the German band that did it? Rammstein. We want to overtake that.
Hell, you know? Yeah.
have our own firework technicians, and that's the dream.
I love that. I feel like the first show where you have fire, there's one particular song I know is going to go off.
Yeah.
The whole song will just be a flame going on it. The room will be boiling because of it.
I feel like there's got to be a Hunger Games moment where someone's cloak catches on fire or something like that as well. Yeah. That'd be great. So I mean, also it feels right to mention that you also kind of became independent from your label as well last year during this behemoth task that you had of various tours and obviously the album. That was also a big change. How did things change much for you guys as a touring band? How did that affect things?
I think it came at a time where it was kind of a good thing for both parties. It was like a mutual thing between us both. After it, we had the ability to just go away and work on what we're doing now, really, and it gave us the freedom to do what we wanted and the things we are doing now, like literally now in these weeks, what we've been working on. So it's not really affected us in our touring or in that sort of sense. But yeah, it's just a bit different for us in the professional side of the business, but nothing that we can't handle.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you're thriving as well.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. You know, we're men for hire right now.
So I guess looking forward to this year, to 2024, it's kind of the dawn of a new era for you, working on new stuff. Back in the studio now. Has the survival mode storyline finished now, or are we going to see a continuation, or is it brand new? Is it brand new concept?
I'll interject there real quick. I'll say never say never, and we definitely left it open ended.
We did,
and that can be interpreted in various ways, both on your side and on our side. The devil could come back, but in a different way in the future. You just never know. You just don't know.
I feel like I'll miss him if he never comes back, to be honest. I think there's a little bit of something. But then with the drill sergeant from Muse's Psycho tour, they now use like a robot, for the simulation stuff. So I feel like maybe some of the little bits that you've used with the devil, you could reinvent it and reimagine it, which is exciting. Yeah. So I'm a massive fan of the kind of world building that you do. Are you looking to kind of level that up with this new stuff? Like what kind of concepts are we thinking about, or are we keeping it under wraps for now?
We're having a lot of discussions on this at the moment, and honestly, we don't really know. We don't know what direction we want to do yet. But I think the one thing we do want to do is really let the music take the lead and sort of bring it back to that, whatever that fucking means. We don't actually know yet. We want to make the music and see what happens. But
there's a lot of like themes and buzzwords in it. So it's like how the songs and how the body of work all will fit together. There's like certain key phrases and flavors and all this stuff that kind of insinuate what that will be. Right now we're still like kind of forging it, if you know what I mean.
Got us at the beginning of the process right now, right in the studio, in the trenches.
We're deep in it.
So we're in it right now.
What's the process of do you find that themes and the concepts emerge from the tunes, or do you kind of go into the writing process with an idea of what you'd like to explore, or what is that process like?
Oh, I don't know, man.
With these songs again, it was like we kept talking about the idea of like space and
we did talk about space.
you know,
that has influenced quite a lot.
that has
Actually, to be
influenced.
fair.
Yeah, like how just that as a it's obviously quite a general thing, but under that umbrella it can contain so much interesting things that you can draw a parallel to music pretty easily, I think. So that definitely inspired the first few ideas, which then kind of informed a certain general direction.
I like it. I mean, I think that's
Little
kind of
things like, sorry, mate.
No, go, go.
Like sim sounds and stuff. Like we were talking about space, like the Sims we were using are quite spacey and stuff like that. So yeah, but figuring it out, man.
Yeah. I think space seems to be a bit of a topical thing at the moment with various. I mean, they're starting the moon missions again and things like that, aren't they? And obviously Elon doing his thing as well. But, yeah, I mean that sounds great. And obviously, I've seen on your Instagram stories in the past day that we're introducing the 8-string.
That's the most important thing here.
We're going heavy with this. How much more freedom does adding that extra string give to you?
Well, I'd say it's been. So I contacted Stromberg about the 8-string because I wanted to see how it could. Well, I knew it would be fun, and I knew the guys would enjoy it. And I think again, it just opens up different possibilities, and it immediately invokes a certain sound.
Yeah.
And you know, as we've mentioned over the past few months, we've had absolute freedom to play around with ideas and concepts and interpret that in different ways.
Yeah.
And for me personally, yeah, getting my hands on the 8 is something that I just thought like this is the best time to come at it with the guys and be like, check this out.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Have you had to do any like hand stretching exercises or anything, Zach? Is it come quite naturally to you?
It came quite naturally. I'd say I've been thinking about it for quite a while, and then I've been playing the 7-string for well over a year now.
Yeah.
So I picked it up with a map of something of what I wanted to do with it and how I wanted to do it. And
it's like a god sword on RuneScape.
Yeah.
You know, like the final weapon you
Yeah.
get, and then you just OP'd. Is that the word?
OP,
OP'd, and then you just killing everyone and shit.
true, man.
Yeah.
That feels quite like a survival mode thing. I'm just drawing, just exploring that. It feels a bit like an upgrade. Anyway, we'll move on. But that I'm looking forward very much to hearing a droppy Hara song. I think that's going to be very good, very exciting. So obviously, the main thing we need to talk about is Takedown Festival. But just before we get on to obviously your first festival of 2024, I don't know if you've seen recently, Spotify have created a feature called the Day List, which I believe kind of uses AI to work out what you listen to at certain times of the day. And I wondered, if you have Spotify and if you'd be willing to expose your musical tastes, what is on the Hara's day lists? And I'll share mine as well.
You have to type it in, right? You got to type in day list.
You've got to search day list, but I think once you've found it, maybe it adds it. But I'll share mine first because it feels only right.
That can't be right. I mean.
What's yours, mate?
So it'll be Wednesday evening, and mine is Dirty Rock Community. Wednesday evening, I've got some Wolf Alice, some Royal Blood, some Nothing But Thieves, bit of Muse. Sounds quite good. I feel like Wednesday evening is a good music day for me. But what are we saying?
I'm telling Josh.
I've got 1930s crooners.
Love it. Love that.
Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, Louis Armstrong.
Hell yeah.
Are they your influences, Josh?
That's just because you listen to jazz players.
Yeah, I just bash jazz on the daily. You know what I mean? Bit of background coffee music, jazz.
Yeah. Love it. I feel like there's some crooning. There's some crooning involved in the Hara show. I feel like there's a little bit of, bit of
We whack out them jazz songs every now and then.
Yeah, we get jazzy on.
Get
You know,
jazzy.
those-
Get jazzy
Yeah.
Hara style, man. Yeah. I mean, Frank Sinatra's come out wearing nipple tape before, I'm sure, you know.
100%.
I think that's
Oh.
happened. I'm sure that's happened sometimes. um, yeah, good stuff. So 1930s crooners. Has anyone else got their Spotify to hand, or
Yesterday, I've not got my phone on me right now, but I can't remember what day it was. But I just got like it was like new metal something, and it was just like early 2000s new metal bands, and
that
so
sounds fun?
quite happy with that.
I don't know. I don't really listen to Spotify, to be
No,
fair.
that's fair enough. I think you've got to feed the beast in order for it to throw you something back. I can't remember what I had the other day. I'll find my, I think it was my Monday afternoon one, was really strange. Holiday Scottish rock Monday afternoon. So a bit of Biffy, a bit of Twin Atlantic, and then some Oasis. I guess that might be the holiday, but I don't really listen to Oasis that much. So that's interesting. I guess I maybe hadn't fed the beast on Monday afternoon. I'm going to stop saying fed the beast because it sounds like a euphemism, doesn't it? Anyway, let's get on to Takedown Festival, which is happening towards the middle of April this year. It's a bit of a stacked lineup. We've got Creeper and Dinosaur Pilot headlining the 2 days down in Portsmouth, but then obviously the most important part is the Total Rock stage, which you're playing on the first day of the festival. I mean, you've been on the festival circuit, as we've talked about, doing fairly much all of the major festivals. You've done Leeds Fest main stage, you've done Download. How are we feeling going towards this festival season? What's the thoughts going into it? How are we thinking of tackling it?
Well,
we want more.
yeah, we need more festivals, but we're in a weird spot with everything right now because we've not got a label and we've not got any new music out, so basically we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. So,
but with Takedown Fest, I guess one thing we spoke about is going all out for it. So because we are unsure of this summer, so Takedown will be a good opportunity to do some pretty wild things, I think, and even maybe demo some brand new stuff if it's potentially ready. We did flirt with the idea of doing one song if it's ready.
Yeah.
So there's various ways to interpret that.
It's quite early in the year, though, isn't it? It's quite. It's definitely the first festival I've seen advertised, so it's maybe it's time to have a foray. Do you think you'll test some things out with the festival, sort of looking towards the other festivals if and when they come? They will come. It's that sort of strange time of year, isn't it?
Makes sense to try some stuff. I'm sure we will definitely do that.
Sure we will.
A few months to knuckle it down and get it ready.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, I'm interested in. I think festival shows are different from your headline shows. Obviously, like that goes without saying, but I guess you always have to have that gauge of, how's this going? What's the measure of a good festival show for you? Is it number of people over the barrier? Is it number of mosh pits? Like what do you think? What do you think shows that it's going down well?
I think it's definitely like a feeling for me, like especially when we play like new festivals and there's a lot of new people in the crowd, and there's like a point in the set where I can just feel the energy where it's like got them in my hand now and I can do what I want. And it's like an unspoken thing that happens, and I love it when it hits that point. It's usually after we hit halfway and the first mosh pit commences, then it's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
No back now. Yeah. So that's
Yeah, I think you can just tell. I think even probably from your perspective, you know when a room or environment is vibing something, and you know when something's not. We've all been at shows where it's like, what's going on here? We've all been at shows where everyone's like, whoa, what the fuck is sick? And we can feel that 100%. And you can see it. You even like little things of just how people react to stuff, like how, like Josh says, how the mosh pits are forming, how people react to songs, how even if they don't know tunes, you can like it's just sick to see. So you can it's definitely a feeling thing. And then we always like after going out and speaking to people, so we get like confirmation on whether people thought it was sick and that sort of thing. So
That's
always
it. I always go back to that the first time I saw you guys at festival at Tramlines, that tiny little stage, and it came out, there was about 10 people, and then just out of nowhere we had 2 corridors of people just going at each other. It was incredible. That, I mean, that must be what makes it all worthwhile, being in a band, right?
Yeah, they're the moments what we do it for sure, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Well, I feel like we're sort of coming towards the end, and I want to ask you a question that I've asked you before, but a couple of years ago, and I want to see if the answer's changed. I doubt it will have done, but it'd be interesting to see what your take on it is. If you could play any show anywhere in the world, what would it be?
I'm trying to think of what we would have said.
I'll tell you what you said before if you want.
Was it Red Rock or something like that?
It was Glastonbury.
Was it?
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
That would be cool.
I mean, yeah,
that would. I'd personally, I think playing like MEN Arena.
Yeah. Home city, big show.
Yeah, that's the first time we play that. That's going to be pretty special. First time we headline that is going to be pretty special. But yeah, anything of that sort of magnitude is pretty dreams, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
there's some really big American rock festivals that are like 4 or 5 days long, and every single day are like, there's just, the lineups are insane.
Yeah.
And some of those, I can't remember the specific name. I think maybe one's called Aftershock, or but played all of them. So that would be, if you can summarize it all, some American festivals would be lovely. I'd love to go back there.
I can see you at something like what's it called? When We Were Young. Have you seen that? With like, they always have like Paramore and Avril Lavigne and like Sum 41 and that, who you've already played with. So you know, it's not that far of a stretch, is it? I think that kind of maybe brings us towards the end. But thank you so much for spending the time chatting to me, and yeah, all the best.
Legend, mate. I appreciate you. Thank you.